One afternoon, a man wakes up with no memory inside a locked warehouse. We'll call him Jake. As he looks around, he realizes he's not alone. Several other men are still unconscious. Ryan is tied to a chair, Ethan is hanging in cuffs, and Victor lies on the floor with a broken, bloodied nose. Jake notices a shovel nearby and a smashed phone, then quickly searches for a way out. The main door is solid iron and locked with a code, while the windows are reinforced with metal bars, making escape nearly impossible. He checks the surrounding rooms and eventually reaches a bathroom. While washing his face, he catches a glimpse of himself in the mirror, and a brief memory flashes in his mind. He sees himself carrying a little girl in a hospital, along with a disturbing image of a kidnapping. Even with that, he still has no idea who he really is. When he returns to the main area, he notices two chairs, one with a broken backrest, and loose ropes scattered nearby. It suggests someone may have struggled to break free. Moments later, a phone suddenly rings. Jake answers it, hoping for answers. The caller seems to recognize him and starts mentioning several names and situations that make no sense to Jake at all. There's talk about a missing gun, someone named Cole, and a warning that the police are already searching everywhere. The caller also says they plan to come to the warehouse soon. Confused but careful, Jake pretends he understands and quickly writes down every name he hears. Not long after, Ryan regains consciousness. Jake puts on his glasses and moves to untie him. But another man who has just woken up, Lucas, stops him. He warns that anyone tied up like that could be dangerous. Ryan insists he remembers nothing, and Lucas says the same. Jake then checks on Ethan, who is now awake despite a gunshot wound in his shoulder, but he also has no memory of anything. At the same time, Lucas heads to the bathroom to clean himself up. While there, he experiences a brief flash of memory, just like Jake. It involves a kidnapping. None of them know who they are. This is unknown. Now Jake turns his attention to the last unconscious man, Victor, hoping he might have the key to unlock Ethan's cuffs. But the moment Victor wakes up, he panics and fights back. Just like the others, he has no memory of anything, and there is no key in sight. At this point, all five of them are completely lost, with no idea where they are or what has happened. Soon after, Lucas discovers a tank filled with a strange gas. Out of curiosity, he carefully smells it and immediately reacts to its strong, harsh odor. That leads him to believe the gas might be the reason behind their memory loss, although none of them know who used it or why. Jake also finds it suspicious that a place like this has such a tight security system. What makes things even more confusing is that none of them recognize the names Jake heard on the phone earlier, including Wash, Brockman, Stefan, and Cole. As Jake grips his lighter, which has the name Aaron engraved on it, another fragment of memory flashes through his mind, but it still does not give him clear answers. Meanwhile, in another location, a woman named Eliza is carrying out a dangerous plan. She places a bag filled with millions of dollars into a locker at a train station. The money is meant to pay the people who kidnapped her husband, William Cole, the same name Jake heard during the phone call. For safety, the entire exchange is being monitored by the police through CCTV, led by Captain Parker. The money has also been fitted with a tracking device so they can follow the kidnappers once they take it. Even so, Eliza cannot hide her fear, worried about what might happen to her husband after the drop. But suddenly the GPS signal disappears. The police immediately rush to check the locker, only to discover that the thief has outsmarted them. The bottom of the locker has been modified, leading to a hidden passage that connects to the basement. By the time they reach it, the money is already gone. Detective Anderson immediately tries to track down the kidnapper, knowing they cannot have gone far. At one point, he accidentally bumps into someone carrying a suitcase, and that brief moment triggers his suspicion. He quickly turns and gives chase, but by then, it is already too late. He reports back to Captain Parker, explaining that he has seen one of the kidnappers and can identify the face. Not long after, the GPS signal suddenly comes back online. Acting fast, Parker orders Anderson and Curtis to follow the signal and continue the pursuit. Back at the warehouse, tension begins to rise. Ethan reveals that he heard Jake answering a phone earlier while everyone else was still unconscious. That detail makes the others suspicious, raising the possibility that Jake might be involved with the criminals. Jake calmly explains what happened, and after hearing him out, the group decides to trust him for now. As they continue searching the warehouse, they make a disturbing discovery. Inside one of the lockers, they find the body of a security guard. The locker is marked with the name Liberty Plaza West. That detail sparks something in Victor's mind, and he recalls a newspaper he found earlier in the bathroom. The article reports that a powerful CEO named Cole and his financial advisor, Richard McCain, were kidnapped from Liberty Plaza West. The date on the newspaper reveals something even more unsettling. It was printed on Tuesday morning, meaning they have been trapped in this warehouse for 2 full days. That realization changes everything. It suggests that among them are the 2 victims, Cole and McCain, while the remaining 3 could be the kidnappers. Still unsure who to trust, they attempt to escape by forcing the metal bars and widening a small opening in the door, but none of their efforts succeed. At the same time, Ethan, still restrained, notices a gun near Ryan and asks for help to reach it. Meanwhile, Jake, Lucas, and Victor manage to open a small hole in the door, just big enough to look through. Outside, they find nothing but an empty desert, confirming that they are completely isolated. Things escalate when Ryan suddenly tries to grab the gun. The others react instantly and take it away from him. Believing he could be dangerous, Jake tightens his restraints even further. Then another phone starts ringing. This time from a different device. Jake is asked to answer again, since the caller already recognizes his voice. The message is simple. Whoever is on the other end says they will arrive at the warehouse after sunset. With that warning hanging over them, the group is left with nothing but uncertainty and the growing fear of what is about to happen. In another location, Anderson and Curtis continue tracking the GPS signal from the ransom money. The signal eventually leads them to a gas station, where Anderson spots the same man he encountered earlier. This time, they identify him as Stefan, a name that was mentioned during the phone call back at the warehouse. As Curtis tries to take a photo of Stefan, a large truck suddenly passes by and blocks their view, almost causing them to lose him. Fortunately, the GPS signal still points them in the right direction, allowing them to follow Stefan's vehicle. The trail leads them to a bar in the middle of the desert. Without wasting time, Anderson and Curtis move in and search for the owner of the car.
Police, nobody move! Young people back here?
The bartender admits it belongs to her and hands over the keys. When they inspect the vehicle, they find nothing except the GPS tracker, which has already been removed. It quickly becomes clear that this was all a setup. Stefan and his partner, Juarez, had only rented the car. After realizing the money was being tracked, they removed the device and switched to their own vehicle, disappearing without a trace. Curtis begins to lose hope after the trail goes cold, but Anderson notices something important. The photo taken earlier at the gas station reveals the license plate of Stefan's personal car. With this new lead, they report back to headquarters and wait for further instructions, unsure where Stefan and his group have gone. Further investigation reveals that Stefan and his crew are not just kidnappers. They are also major drug traffickers with a long history of serious crimes. They have been on the run for a long time and are now one of the police's top targets. Acting quickly, Captain Parker orders his team to search for Stefan and his associates within a 40-mile radius of the gas station. Back in the warehouse, Lucas finds a document describing the gas tank. It reveals that the substance inside is extremely dangerous and can cause temporary memory loss. This confirms their suspicion that the gas is the reason none of them can remember anything. At the same time, Victor suddenly recalls a moment from his kidnapping. In that memory, someone calls him McCain. That realization hits hard. He is not Victor at all, but Richard McCain. With that, McCain starts pushing a new theory. He claims that Lucas is actually Cole, the kidnapped CEO, and that Jake is the mastermind behind everything. But Lucas is not convinced. A single memory is not enough for him to believe something that serious. Tension rises quickly when McCain tries to attack Jake, but Jake manages to avoid it. Soon after, it becomes clear that McCain is not entirely honest. He has been twisting his memories, trying to manipulate the situation just to find a way out, without really knowing who Jake is. Despite the conflict, they return to working together and try to break the window above them. But just like everything else in the warehouse, it is reinforced and impossible to shatter. Jake even tries shooting it at close range, but in that moment, another memory flashes into his mind. This time, he sees something disturbing. During the kidnapping, he was one of the people involved. The realization shocks him, but he keeps it to himself. McCain never fully trusted Jake from the beginning, and he eventually frees Ryan. Not long after, they spot a young boy and his father passing near the warehouse. Desperate, they try to get their attention. But sensing danger, the two outsiders choose to walk away, leaving them trapped once again. Then Lucas notices the 2 chairs Jake had pointed out earlier. As he looks at them, another memory comes back. He remembers being kidnapped, managing to escape, and fighting back against his captors. But the situation grows worse. Ethan, who has been losing blood for a long time, finally succumbs to his injuries. From his recovered memories, Lucas becomes certain of his identity. He is Cole, and McCain is exactly who he claims to be. That means Jake, Ethan, and Ryan must be the criminals. Even so, Lucas chooses not to focus on who is good or bad. His priority is getting out alive, and for some reason, he still trusts Jake. After retrieving the gun, they quickly put together a plan to face the group that will soon arrive. Cole takes position at the door, making sure it can be opened at the right moment. McCain prepares to attack from above. Ryan gets ready to use nearby objects and drive a truck for their escape. And Jake plans to move in quietly, confronting the enemy head-on. Not long after, the sound of approaching vehicles breaks the silence. Outside, Stefan arrives with his crew, including Juarez, Ray, Tommy, and Ben. At that exact moment, Ryan's memory finally comes back. He realizes his true identity is Brockman, a member of Stefan's group who was assigned to dig graves for the hostages. That revelation confirms something even bigger. Jake is not who he seemed to be. His real name is Wash. As Tommy and Ben enter the warehouse, Brockman suddenly turns on Wash and drops a heavy drum toward him.
Watch out!
Wash narrowly avoids it, and the situation explodes into chaos. Gunfire erupts as both sides fight for survival. In the end, Tommy, Ben, and Brockman are killed. McCain is shot but manages to survive. Soon after, Stefan and Juarez step inside. To avoid raising suspicion, Wash knocks McCain out and hands him over, while Cole is captured by Juarez. With the situation under control, Wash gets a moment alone with Stefan. It is revealed that Wash has only been working with him for a few months. Before leaving, Stefan orders Wash to kill both Cole and McCain. But just as he prepares to act, Wash's memory suddenly returns in full. Everything becomes clear. After killing the security guard and kidnapping Cole and McCain, the plan had started to fall apart. Cole and McCain managed to break free and tied up Brockman. A fight broke out between Wash and McCain, while Cole clashed with Ethan. Wash broke McCain's nose and Cole managed to take Ethan down. During the struggle, Cole accidentally knocked over the gas tank. At the same time, the gun Wash was trying to grab discharged, shooting Ethan. The gas quickly filled the room, causing all of them to lose consciousness in their memories. Along with these events, Wash also remembers something deeply personal. The name engraved on his lighter belongs to his daughter, Erin, who passed away from illness 5 years earlier. His marriage had already fallen apart after that loss. Back in the present, as Cole and McCain are forced to deal with the guard's body, Wash points a gun at them, preparing to carry out Stefan's order. Back at the police station, Captain Parker receives a report from nearby residents who find the warehouse suspicious. He immediately orders Curtis and Anderson to head there and investigate. As they move out, Parker informs them that an undercover officer is inside the warehouse, and his cover may have already been blown. Unfortunately, that conversation is intercepted. Ray has been listening in on the police radio and quickly relays the information to Stefan, revealing that the undercover agent is likely Wash. At that moment, Wash's memory finally comes back completely. He realizes his true identity. He is not just part of the gang, but an undercover cop who has been infiltrating Stefan's operation for the past 8 months. As Wash is about to be executed, Cole and McCain are still alive. They seize the opportunity and fight back against the remaining criminals. At the same time, Curtis and Anderson arrive at the warehouse, and the situation erupts into a final battle. In the end, Wash and Cole manage to survive, taking down both Stefan and Juarez. McCain is not as fortunate and is killed during the fight. Curtis is shot but stays on his feet, managing to take down Ray with Anderson's help. After everything is over, Wash burns the bodies of Stefan and Juarez using his lighter. Not long after, the police flood the warehouse. Wash and Cole are checked and prepared for treatment, while Eliza is finally reunited with her husband Cole. But just when everything seems resolved, the truth takes another turn. As Wash looks at Eliza, his final memory comes back, and it changes everything. The entire incident was never just a kidnapping. It was a conspiracy planned by Wash and Eliza themselves. Her hesitation earlier now makes sense. Eliza had been having an affair with Wash. Together, they planned to steal Cole's wealth by staging the kidnapping of both Cole and McCain, using Stefan's gang to carry it out. McCain was dragged into it as part of a larger plan. Wash intended to eliminate Stefan's crew, kill Cole, and frame McCain as the mastermind, leaving all the evidence pointing directly at him. The plan was simple. They would walk away with the money, earn recognition for solving the case, and start a new life together. But everything fell apart because of one unexpected event. The gas incident wiped everyone's memory and threw the entire operation into chaos. Now fully aware of what he has done, Wash sees the truth about himself. Instead of continuing the plan, he makes a different choice. He quietly hands over the bag of money to the police, bringing the conspiracy to an end. So the moral of the story is never trust your own memory, your coworkers, or your girlfriend, because you might be the criminal, the cop, and the victim all at the same time.